Person, woman, man, camera, TV. We're going to end the mandate on electric one day. They want to make all boats, too. I went to a boat company in South Carolina. The boat, I said, how is it? He said, it's a problem, sir. They want us to make all electric boats. He said, the problem is the boat is so heavy, it can't float.
What?
I said, that sounds like a problem. So I said, let me ask you a question. And he said, nobody ever asked this question. And it must be because of MIT, my relationship to MIT. Very smart.
Right.
I say, what would happen if the boat sank from its weight and you're in the boat and you have this tremendously powerful battery and the battery's now underwater and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there. By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Do you notice that? A lot of shark. So I said, so there's a shark 10 yards away from the boat, 10 yards. Do I get electrocuted? If the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking. Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted? Or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? Because I will tell you, he didn't know the answer. He said, you know, nobody's ever asked me that question. I said, I think it's a good question. I think there's a lot of electric current coming through that water. But you know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time.
Pretty sure that if he was at all smart, he'd jump into the life raft and start rowing.
I could tell you about the elevators on a tremendous aircraft carrier, the Gerald Ford, and they decided not to use hydraulic like a John Deere tractor. They decided to use magnets. We're going to use magnets to lift up the elevators with 7 planes on them. They had an almost $1 billion cost overrun on the magnetic elevators. Think of it, magnets. Now, all I know about magnets is this. Give me a glass of water. Let me drop it on the magnets. That's the end of the magnets.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
All appropriate departments of our government, from Homeland Security to Defense, are engaged fully in the disaster and the response and recovery effort. Probably has never been seen for something like this. This is an island surrounded by water, big water, ocean water.
As opposed to what? Custard?
Hillary wanted to put up wind. If you have a windmill anywhere near your house, congratulations. Your house just went down 75% in value. And they say the noise causes cancer. You told me that one, okay? You know, the thing makes it so... And, of course, it's like a graveyard for birds.
And then they kill all the whales, right? They kill all the whales out there, and then they say that for boat manufacturers, the boat can't go more than 2 miles an hour because we don't want to hurt the whales, even though there's only been one recorded incident of that in 50 years.
Yeah, this is awesome!
I know, right?
I just want to thank all of the incredible men and women who have done such a great job in helping with Florence. This is a tough hurricane, one of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water.
What?
This is the time of year for me to introduce a brand new grift, because the tacky sneakers and janky perfume sales just aren't filling my pockets the way I hoped. So step right up, folks. Get a God Save the USA from Trump Bible. It is the holy word of a holy God, probably written on clay tablets in a time before even typewriters by a God not named Trump, if you can believe it. A lot of you say it's your favorite, even though, like me, you've never read it and can probably only name the most famous little bits, like the very beautiful passages, wherefore art thou Romeo, and my horse, a kingdom for my horse. I looked at the chapter called Numbers, and it doesn't have any accounting tips at all, but I'm sure God knows all about hiding profits from the evil government tax collectors. This Bible can be your very own for only $59.99, and what a great price to have another copy of this amazing book in your home. You should get rid of your other Bibles and replace them all with God Save the USA from Trump Bible. We must make
America pray again.
By the way, they never report the crowd on January 6th. You know, Nikki Haley, you know, did you know they destroyed all of the information, all of the evidence, everything? Deleted and destroyed all of it, because of lots of things. Like Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people, soldiers, National Guard, so whatever they want. They turned it down. They don't want to talk about that. These are very dishonest people. If you're the president of the United States, you can declassify just by saying it's declassified, even by thinking about it.
Damn!
You get indicted over nothing. You get indicted over the Presidential Records Act, which they don't even admit. They call it the Espionage Act. I did everything right, and they indicted me. There's also a lot of speculation because of what they did, the severity of the FBI coming and raiding Mar-a-Lago. Were they looking for the Hillary Clinton emails that were deleted, but they are around someplace?
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
If you are still supporting me, I want you to seriously think about what I'm about to tell you, because supporting me comes with a pretty ugly price. Tonight, in a federal prison, a whole bunch of Oath Keepers are going to get ruthlessly butt-fucked by huge tattooed inmates, and it's going to happen because they supported me unconditionally. In fact, hundreds of other dumbass Trump supporters will be bent over and sodomized in prison tonight because they believed my bullshit, and they voted for me and stormed the Capitol and fell for whatever I told them. This is the price of supporting me. So I'm just warning you that if you support me, you might be the next one to get an unfathomably huge mandingo pecker shoved up your wazoo on an unwanted basis.
What are you doing?
I'm getting bad. You better get bad, Jack, because you ain't bad. You're gonna get fucked.
In June of 1775, the Continental Congress created a unified army out of the revolutionary forces encamped around Boston and New York, and named after the great George Washington, Commander-in-Chief. The Continental Army suffered a bitter winter of Valley Forge, found glory across the waters of the Delaware, and seized victory from Cornwallis of Yorktown. Our army manned the airport.
What?
It ran the ramparts.
What?
It took over the airports. It did everything it had to do. They say a wall is medieval. Well, so is a wheel. A wheel is older than a wall. And I looked, and every single car out there, even the really expensive ones that the Secret Service uses, and believe me, they are expensive. I said, do they all have wheels? Yes. Oh, I thought it was medieval. The wheel is older than the wall. You know that?
Boring.
I think what I want to do is I want to talk just for a second. I wrote this out, and it's very close to my heart because I was down there, and I watch our police and our firemen down on 7-Eleven, down at the World Trade Center right after it came down. We're also going to place strong protections to stop banks and regulators from trying to debank you from your political beliefs, what they do. They want to debank you, and we're going to debank. Think of this. They want to take away your rights. They want to take away your country. The things you're doing, all electric cars, give me a break. If you want an electric car, good, but they don't go far. They're very expensive. We want every American child to have access to pristine outdoor spaces. When young Americans experience the breathtaking beauty of the Grand Canyon, when their eyes widen in amazement as Old Faithful bursts into the sky, when they gaze upon Yosemite's towering sequoias.
Some people are really fucking stupid.
The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges, how it started, the beginnings of the investigation.
What?
In 1917, they say, right? The great pandemic certainly was a terrible thing where they lost anywhere from 50 to 100 million people. Probably ended the Second World War. All the soldiers were sick.
This guy is fucking stupid!
We have a man who is totally corrupt and the worst president in the history of our country, who is cognitively impaired, in no condition to lead, and is now in charge of dealing with Russia and possible nuclear war. Just think of it. We would be in World War II very quickly. And it's a big wall. It's a strong wall. It's a wall that people aren't going through very easy. They're going to have to be in extremely good shape to get over this one. They would be able to climb Mount Everest a lot easier, I think.
Supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light, and I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number on the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me.
Right.
Okay, now we need to talk about how constipated I am. You wouldn't believe how backed up my colon is. And it's mostly because of the garbage I eat. I'm like Oscar the fucking Grouch. My diet is horrible. I mean, I weigh around 300 pounds, but at least 100 pounds of it is impacted fecal matter. It's gross. And don't get me started on the number of toilets I've clogged, maybe 1,000 or more than that. I once farted so hard that a Big Mac from 1973 came out of my ass fully intact, so I ate it again. After I lost the election in a landslide, I didn't crap for a month, so I took a ton of laxatives, and I woke up the next morning drowning in an ocean of my own shit. It was totally disgusting. So when they say Trump shit the bed in 2020, they weren't kidding, and only I really did shit my bed. The biggest crap I ever took was 8 pounds, 9 ounces, like a fat baby, like no one's ever seen before. People had tears in their eyes and said, sir, what a huge turd. No one's ever seen such a turd before. But it turns out they were talking about me. The skid marks in my underwear would make your head spin. They're horrible.